the WNBA world just witnessed one of the most shocking turnarounds of the season. Brittney Griner, one of the most dominant players in women's basketball history, was left in tears after a disastrous showdown against the Indiana Fever. Meanwhile, Aliyah Boston put the league on notice, putting up a performance so dominant that it left the Atlanta Dream gasping for air. This wasn't just another night on the WNBA calendar. This was a clash of pride, momentum, and legacy. The Phoenix Mercury thought they could lean on their veteran star, but instead, the Fever stormed through with relentless energy, led by Boston's sheer power in the paint. Tonight, we're breaking down exactly what happened. The collapse, the emotion, the rise of Aliyah Boston, and what this means for the WNBA moving forward. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this game has already become one of the defining moments of the season. Griner's rough night. Brittney Griner came into this matchup with high expectations. Known for her unstoppable presence around the rim, fans expected a dominant showing. But instead, Griner struggled right from tip-off. The Fever's defense swarmed her, cutting off passing lanes and doubling her every time she touched the ball. Shot after shot rimmed out. Every rebound felt like a battle she couldn't win. And as the game wore on, frustration mounted. Cameras caught her shaking her head, wiping tears of anger and disappointment during a timeout. For a player who's built her career on resilience, this was a devastating reminder that even legends can fall. Indiana Fever's game plan. The Indiana Fever didn't just show up to play, they came with a strategy. Their plan was simple: neutralize Griner at all costs. From the opening quarter, they sent double teams, rotated quickly, and forced Phoenix into uncomfortable shots. Their guards applied relentless pressure, cutting off the Mercury's perimeter looks. Meanwhile, Aliyah Boston held her ground in the paint, refusing to be bullied by Griner. Every time Phoenix thought they had momentum, Indiana slammed the door shut with disciplined execution. The Fever's energy, chemistry, and confidence were unmatched. They didn't just play defense, they dictated the entire pace of the game. Aliyah Boston's monster performance. Aliyah Boston didn't just have a good game, she had a career-defining performance. She dominated the paint, bulldozed through defenders, and made Atlanta regret every defensive switch. Her scoring efficiency was staggering, and her rebounding numbers left fans speechless. But it wasn't just the stats. Boston brought an intensity that electrified her teammates. Every bucket, every block, every rebound fueled Indiana's momentum. Her energy was contagious, and by the second half, the Fever were feeding off her confidence. Boston proved she's not just a rising star. She's already here, ready to challenge anyone in the league. Mercury's collapse. While the Fever soared, the Mercury crumbled. Phoenix's offense stalled, relying too heavily on isolation plays that went nowhere. Missed shots turned into fast breaks, and turnovers piled up at alarming rates. The team looked out of sync, frustrated, and unable to adjust to Indiana's relentless defense. Even Griner, usually the team's anchor, struggled to find her rhythm. As the scoreboard tilted further in Indiana's favor, the Mercury's body language said it all. Shoulders slumped, heads down, and an unmistakable sense of defeat. For Phoenix fans, it was painful to watch. For Indiana, it was glorious. Boston versus the Dream. Aliyah Boston wasn't just destroying the Mercury's morale. She also put the Atlanta Dream on notice. In back-to-back matchups, she made it clear no one in the Eastern Conference could handle her inside presence. Against Atlanta, Boston outmuscled defenders, out-rebounded their front court, and left the Dream scrambling for answers. Her footwork and timing looked polished beyond her years, while her defensive instincts shut down Atlanta's offensive rhythm. This wasn't just one standout game. This was a statement. Boston is proving she can take over matchups, bend defenses, and completely change the trajectory of her team's season. The emotional toll on Griner. As the final buzzer sounded, cameras caught Brittney Griner with tears streaming down her face. For a player who has battled adversity on and off the court, this moment hit differently. It wasn't just about losing a game, it was about expectations, pride, and the weight of carrying a franchise. Griner has been the Mercury's cornerstone for years, but against the Fever, she looked human, vulnerable. Fans sympathized with her pain, recognizing the emotional toll of competing at the highest level. In that moment, the world saw not just a superstar, but a person overwhelmed by disappointment. Fever's rising chemistry. Indiana's victory wasn't just about Aliyah Boston. It was about the whole team coming together. Guards hit timely threes, role players hustled for loose balls, and the bench erupted after every big play. The Fever looked like a team united by purpose, feeding off each other's energy. Their ball movement was crisp, their defense suffocating, and their trust in Boston was absolute. This wasn't just a win over Phoenix. It was proof that Indiana's rebuild is finally taking shape. The Fever are no longer a team to overlook. They're a team to fear. Boston's leadership moment. Leadership doesn't always come from veterans. Against Atlanta, Aliyah Boston showed maturity beyond her years, rallying her team when momentum wavered. She clapped, shouted encouragement, and demanded the ball when the Fever needed a bucket. Her confidence spread through the roster, and suddenly, Indiana looked like a team with an identity. What this means for the WNBA. The dual storylines of Griner's heartbreak and Boston's dominance highlight the league's evolution. Veterans like Griner still command respect, but the new generation, led by Boston, is rising fast. For the WNBA, this is gold. Fans are drawn to emotional highs and lows, to stories of legacy and transformation. This game provided all of that and more. It's a reminder that the WNBA isn't just about games. It's about narratives, rivalries, and the shifting balance of power. For Brittney Griner and the Mercury, the road ahead is tough. They'll need to regroup, adjust, and rediscover their identity if they hope to compete with the league's rising powers. For Aliyah Boston and the Fever, the future has never looked brighter. With her as the centerpiece, Indiana is suddenly a playoff contender, and opponents are beginning to fear their potential. This matchup wasn't just a game. It was a turning point, and from here, the WNBA landscape may never be the same again. And there you have it, one of the most emotional nights in recent WNBA history. Brittney Griner, a legend of the game, left in tears after a crushing defeat. And on the other side, Aliyah Boston, a young star rising to superstardom, dominating not just one team, but two. This is why we love sports, the heartbreak, the triumph, the passing of the torch. One player fights to hold on to legacy, while another carves out a new one. So now I'll ask you, did this game signal the beginning of a new WNBA era? Can Boston truly lead Indiana to the playoffs? And can Griner and the Mercury bounce back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe for more viral sports stories every week.